Hello once again. Welcome to another edition of the Show. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and joined by the coach of the University of Pikeville Bears. UPike coming off a loss to Lindsey Wilson in the home opener at the Hambley Athletic Complex. It was a game that the Blue Raiders scored 22 fourth quarter points. We'll recap that game, have video highlights. Also, we'll step into the Bears' den. A couple of players on hand tonight. Special guests Jordan Amos and Grayson Quick, along with receivers coach Justin Lamb. He's got the task of finding enough footballs to go around to his talented group of receivers. Now, without further ado, we talk with the coach of the University of Pikeville Bears. He's our coach. He retired as the winningest coach in Kentucky high school football history, 3 state championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Dudley Hilton.
I'm glad you bring that up, that I used to be that, but that was a hard game Saturday, Andrew. It really tested a lot for this old man down there Saturday afternoon, and it was one of those games that I felt good coming in. Last year we felt like we gave it away. It was one game we should have won last year, and it just made our whole season disappointment, and I really did. I felt good about the Saturday game, but just seemed like the longer the game went, the better they got, and we just started slipping on the end in a lot of ways. But we just felt like they took it to us in the fourth quarter. But up to that point, we stand right toe to toe with them.
Of course, Lindsey Wilson now in the top 25 in the country. They stand at 2-1. You stand at 2-1, and this game seemed to have a turning point. And you hate to point out one play of 120, 130 plays in a football game, but it seemed like the team deflated, the crowd deflated based on one play in the fourth quarter.
Well, the offense kept giving us opportunities there, and the defense had a few good series. The first touchdown that Lindsey scored, I thought was in good coverage, and the boys just made a heck of a catch,
Sure.
and they scored. But that stuff happened, and again when they had the safety and the bad snap there, and we got the safety, I thought the good thing, was going back in their hands again, and they got a heck of a kickoff, and we didn't really get a good field position out of a safety like you're supposed to get. But their special teams was real good. I thought they probably won the special team also on that day. But we had some big plays on the offensively, but you take 5 or 6 plays away from us offensively. We had several 3 and out offensively. So our offense poured a lot of points on the forward, but we had to depend on about 4 real big plays there to get those for us. But right there on the end, we had a good offensive drive going and turned the ball over. And I feel like if we could have kept that drive and got up on them maybe 42 to, at the time would have been 31 or something like that, then I would thought our defense picked up for. But from going one week being the best defensive team in the conference to the next week to the worst defensive team in the conference really hurt. But give Lindsey a little credit. Their offensive line up front, they really wore us out, I thought.
Really played well, put up 600 yards, and when a team does that, they're doing something right. Coach, you've got over 350 career wins. You take a loss like that, do they ever get any easier?
No, I really thought being retired, and I wouldn't take this thing so serious and wouldn't come up here and get myself so tore up and carry on. But I guess it's, when you stay in it that long, I take my losses hard, Andrew. My high school days, I got my brains beat out, and when I started coaching, I said I can do something about it, and I feel bad because it's just not another game for me. It takes me a little while to get over it, and ask my wife, she's just not a happy camper either, and I don't know. I just wish I wouldn't take it so serious, and it is just a game, but it's one of those things I chose, and it just don't get no easier. I appreciate you asking that question because it don't, and I have a hard time even laughing about it till you get that next
Sure.
win. It'll soothe it over and it'll be water underneath the bridge. But I just somehow that illusion wasn't in my vocabulary since I started coaching. That was in my high school days. I never was a big part of a good high school football team, but I've been pretty good part of some of them
Sure.
since I coach.
And that many wins and every loss is tough. And I got to tell you, as a Bears fan, as a broadcaster, this one was tough This one was tough to handle because I felt like that we had an opportunity to win this game, and you're not the only guy that's still feeling bitter about it. I was asked about it Monday morning on our radio show, and I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't, outside of what I was obligated to tell, the score and what happened. But the fans feel it too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're right there with you.
You know, and again, so many people, you know, depending on me as far as, you know, being the savior of a program and trying to get it going on the right track. And I think we got things going in the right track. You know, last year we sat here with 5 seniors and 6 juniors. Well, this year we're sitting here with 5 seniors and 22 juniors.
Sure.
and a lot of sophomores. So I hope that next year we can sit here and we got 18 seniors and 30 juniors. And now we're up there where we can compete with some of these people and, you know, with that number-wise and everything. But you know, we're playing with a lot of heart right now. And again, we got our new complex down here to get in the weight room. We've got to get stronger. We're just not strong enough right now. You know, we're playing hard and things going to get better for us. But right now, when we played Lindsey Wilson, they was a very experienced up front, defensive front, offensive line front. They were bigger than us and better than us up front. There's no question about that.
Of course, you take it hard. The fans take it hard. What was the mood like in the locker room after the loss Saturday and since then?
Well, I could feel that's the first time we really went in there and had a hard talk after the game. And, you know, and I tried to explain to them, you know, we're in all this together. We can't go out here laughing and giggling. And it's just, you know, we put the price, you know, we try to pay the price to win. And we work hard at our game. Our coaches work hard. And but you know, we just got to take it serious, you know. And then the mood wasn't very good in the dressing room. Sure. We had a few people speak up, and we just need leadership and things like that. And you know, that we got to pull together as a team. And you know, again, our fans, you know, we go on the road and win 2 good football games. You know, Bluefield, you know, that was a good football team. You know, as far as it been in the NAIA and Mid-South Conference. Sure. You know, they get in Campbellsville was a good football team. Then we come home and have our band, have our first home game, and you know, and had a good crowd out. It was a good bunch of people out to watch our Bears play, and even when it was bad weather, they came out. So, you know, the expectation was high, but we like it like that. So now, as a coaching staff and the players, we just we got people who care. You know, we need to go out there and show a good product, and we just did too many on-calls, force errors that wasn't calls for, and you know, so you know, if we correct them and somebody just comes in here and we play hard and get beat, that's different. But there were some things that we let get on that we just wasn't a very good football team.
Before we put Lindsey to bed, of course, we're going to take a look at highlights in the next segment. The injury report coming out of Lindsey Wilson, anybody banged up?
Well, I think we're all right. Shantez kind of had a small concussion there on the end on the kickoff, and I think that was one, but I can't think of anybody else off other than their feelings and their heart there. You know, a lot of broken hearts there on that thing, but you know, again, they can heal up, and we've worked pretty hard so far the last 2 days in our practice, and you know, we just got to pick up our spirits. Ain't nobody gonna do it for us. We got to do it ourselves, and you know, I just got to handle this thing a little bit better and keep working at it.
Sure. Never like taking a loss. I know Dudley Hilton. I've been around, and you're a winner. Losses hurt, but is there positives? Are there positives that this team can take from this loss?
Well, yeah, we just got to keep growing. We can't do it. We're not over talent. We got a bunch of pretty good athletes, but we're not over talented that we can just go out and you do your thing, I do mine. We all got to keep working together, and you know, and that just shows us if we work together and play good defense and play good offense, protect the ball, we can play in the conference. But we got to go every week and protect the ball and be smart on what we're doing. And same way defensively, we got to, you know, we can't let a reverse pitch pass be wide open down the field. That's uncalled for, you know. But and let a kid cut back. But you know, Lindsey Wilson give up 4 big plays too. You
Sure.
know, I mean, we gutted them one time. Chris Perry ran right straight up the middle. So you know, we feel like we was pretty good there. And Shantez made a good catch, and Amos made a good catch for a big long touchdown. So you know, we had our share of big plays too. But We just can't get. We can get them, but the other team can't do it. But I hope we grow from it. You know, Andrew. It's just I'm telling you, every week it's a dog eat dog, and I don't care. It's a dog eat dog. It's like SEC, Alabama, and South Carolina, and all of them playing every week. Well, it's the same way here. When Pikeville playing Lindsey Wilson, Campbellsville, and Wise, you know, Wise is as good as they come. You know, they can compete, but we just got to learn every week. We've got to play. We got to come to play.
It's been said before, the Mid-South Conference, the SEC of the NAI, there are no off weeks. Everyone can lay a loss on you. We'll recover from this one. We'll talk about some highlights in the Bears' loss to Lindsey Wilson last week. Then we'll take a look ahead. Also coming up a little bit later, receivers coach Justin Lamb, wideout Jordan Amos, and special teams guy Grayson Quick. He's an all-conference performer. It's all coming up. Highlights next on the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back into the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're talking University of Pikeville Bears football, and never easy to talk about a loss. Those are the hardest parts of doing any type of coach's show, regardless of the sport. Loss is tough to swallow sometimes. You try to find the positives and move ahead, and we're still looking at Lindsey Wilson. Of course, Lindsey with the win over the Bears on Saturday at the Hamley Athletic Complex, and there were some highlights. Coach offensively and defensively, despite the outcome on the scoreboard. And it's time for us to go to the highlights now. Defensively, had some big plays, some guys that are we expect to see big plays out of. The offense also with some big plays, over 440 yards of total offense. So let's find some of those high spots.
Well, you know, I thought Taylor Woods played an outstanding game. I think right here, this is our linebacker, Roy Spain, there made a big tackle with Nick Stale, and I think this is Jordan's big play coming up right here. Best I can remember here, Trevor. He just made a great pass. Jordan really put a great move on that boy, and I think that boy thought he was going to hook up, but you can see he's outrunning him about that 30 yards there, and he's a lot faster than that Lamb boy, I think. Don't you think
he really is? He's a little quicker than his receivers coach, but he ran a great pattern that time, did get free, and then stretched it.
I think his big play by Ron DeDante's come up and make a big stick right here. You can see that boy Ed went back. Rod, I think he led us in tackling, had a big day back there. He's got to really come along for us. He's our key to our defense.
Been very solid.
And been very solid. Here's Taylor Wood. I think he ended up getting about 4 sacks on the day. Taylor, you had him on your show last week, Andrew, and he's just so consistent. He just plays hard every week.
Nose for the ball.
Nose for the ball. And then here's a big pass to our man. Again, you had him on your show last week too. That's your Shantez Johnson. You can tell we like to get him the ball as much as we can.
Takes 2 defensive backs to bring down the big guy.
Yeah,
and Zeke wide on a big run outside here.
Right. Yeah, Zeke really come along there. He had a late fumble in the game, but still had a big game. And I think this right here, Hunter Adams get a good carry. Again, he runs that shoulder. That's a lick right there, but he got the yardage that we need right there.
Got into the end zone there.
Yeah. And here's a little old play, kind of caught us asleep. They act like they was walking away, and they wasn't going to run a play by the time they stepped. And, you know, they did little things like that. They had fun. I think that was Rodney come up there and made a big hit. And I told the guys after the game, we got to find a way to have a little bit more fun like that right there. If we get sacked, see it get up, get a little excitement to us. We're lacking that excitement. We get a few penalties every once in a while, and I've kind of held them back a little bit. But I'm going to turn them loose a little bit, I guess.
Football's an emotional game.
Right. Again, here it comes right back again. This Nick and Taylor Woods get another big sack. You can see Taylor trying to get the crowd going. And, again, we're at home. We got to have a little bit more enthusiasm. And these things we got to have. I think this big play with Chris Watson down here on the bottom, spins out and comes back about, and good hit. You see him went after the ball and almost caused the ball to come out right there.
He's a strong defender.
Oh, yeah.
Always a big hit.
I think it's a big hit again. This is plays that really gets us going, should really get us excited, you know, and that's Trey Bartlett.
Bartlett had a good game, had some big plays.
Had a big play. And I think right here, big play of the game going down the sideline and caused a fumble right here. And, you know, that's almost picked it up, scoop and score right there, you know. But
big Desmond Davis, he had thoughts of running to pay dirt right there. He wanted to pick that one up.
He didn't like refrigerator going in there. But here again, you know, you miss the opportunity right there to pick it off and score. You know, that was Roy Spain again. Had a good chance there. You know, they don't come often. And here's kicked off and get Chris Perry going for us. And, you know, he's a guy who makes a good fake right there and coming down the sideline, even fool the cameraman a little bit.
Doesn't happen often, but it happened there.
But now right there, you know, if he had a chance to cut back there, he'd have scored right there on that play.
Nice return, good field position again for the Bears after that return.
I think sure was. And again, you know, we just got to get Chris Perry going for us. He's a man can go the distance. And here's Trevor scrambling out there. Made a good job right there scrambling, throwing down the sideline. That's Amos down there. It's another big play. I think that's Amos down there catching it. He went among people right there. He don't look like he's big enough to go among people, does he?
He really doesn't, but he did. He showed some hops there. Trevor throwing against his body, able to be very accurate still.
Yeah, and this is a big touchdown. And come right there, Chris Perry and Trevor. That's a good play. I asked Coach Holler, I said, you need to run that one again right there, because that was a super play right there.
Left wide open.
And
the pitch right here.
Again,
comes up.
Yeah, he was on the highlight quite a bit. He had a big game, but when your safety's making tackles, Andrew, you're in a little trouble, you know.
Problem when they're your leading tackler.
Yeah, right, and that's showing what kind of day you had, I guess. There's another good tackle there from Dorsey, I think. And this one right here, a big play, I think, by J.K. Hall. Best I can remember. Throwing the end zone right there. J.K. got a good position on him and makes a good pick right there. You know, that's a Johnson Central boy right here, close to home.
Just a freshman.
Just a freshman.
He knows the game. Comes out of a good program.
Right here, this is what makes your day goes better too. When you sit here and the offense gets a big play. I think it's the second play of the series, and cuts back, gets his shoulders up, and then the speed just turns in. And you know, and that's what kind of speed we got. We just need a few more plays like that. You know, if we can get a few more like that out of him, that's Chris Perry.
Good blocking at the point of attack. Then Chris Perry does what he does. He found running room, made a couple of guys miss, and then takes it to the house. He's got some quickness that I hadn't seen until that run.
Yeah, that's probably the longest from scrimmage we've had for a while as far as a run. I think it's a big pass broken up by J.K. Hall again. Again, you see Rodney right there real close, almost intercepted him. Again, you got to be there to make things happen. And you know, we just need to keep giving it to them. You know,
another young guy making plays.
We drew him off sides right here, got a free play, and was able to take advantage of it. And again, that's your man, Shantez Johnson. You know, he just does a great job right there.
Trevor hits him on the run. I thought he had a very accurate day.
Yeah, and then this big pass down here on the goal line. Just kind of throw it up there to him, let him do his thing, and that was a big touchdown for us right there. But
it's amazing. Mid-South Conference defensive backs seem to get by with mugging Johnson every time that he goes up for a pass. It takes a lot of contact, but still comes down with it. That wraps up Lindsey Wilson. Of course, the Blue Raiders get the win over the Bears last week. Some highlights there, some things to take and learn from and build on. And 2-1. Yeah, not 3-0, but also not 0-3. This team's done some good things here this season. UVA-wise, it's time to put Lindsey behind build on it, learn from it, and go from there.
Well, again, and I appreciate you saying those things, but one thing our expectation for Lindsey Wilson was very high.
Sure.
And you know, when you get, and we expect to win all of our games, but this game right there, and I think, again, that's why our players took it hard, and that's why I took it pretty hard, and our coaching staff. But, you know, it's just things don't go like everybody can, you know, say they're going to go. You know, it's easy saying, well, Kentucky beat Alabama by 20. You know, anybody can say it, you know, and everybody felt good about us beating Lindsey Wilson, but it didn't turn out like that. Lindsey Wilson was hungry for us, and we're just going to have to learn from it, and like you said, go on, and that's what I've got to learn, to go on, and because I don't have an easy game again this week, Andrew.
Right.
We better regroup and go, and that's what I've got to learn. It's a little different from high school because I had some easy games down the road. I'll admit that, but since I've been over here, man, one of them been easy, but again, that's all right. That's what it's all about. Everybody, we just want to be competitive. Going into the fourth quarter, we was competitive, but after the fourth quarter, we wasn't very competitive, and we've got to do a better job at that.
One last question before we put Lindsey Wilson to bed. How do you keep a loss like this that hurt so bad with such high expectations? How do you keep it from changing the rest of your season?
Well, again, in college, you know, I just think these kids come here for education, and football is big to them, and but the education is very important too. So they got to keep on going. It's not like high school. You know, high school you can wallow around in it for a little while and get them out of class and take them out and do this. But here they got to go to chemistry and biology. So they got to keep their heads pretty level and keep on going. So I think the kids handle it good because, you know, again, it's just not like high school. But they got to regroup. It's more like a business now, Andrew, and it is like the rivals you had in high school days and everything. But the kids can handle it. You know, like I said, I just have a hard time because just been in high school all my life. But I got to realize I'm in college, and I'm gonna start doing a better job at it, Andrew. I'm not going to accept my losses, but I got to regroup and be ready to go again next week because we got another tough game this week. There's no question about it. It's week after week, Andrew.
Sure. We're not going to let you accept losses. That's not why you're here.
Thank you,
the Dudley Hilton Show. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. We've got guests on the way, a couple of players. Jordan Amos, you've seen him in the highlights. Grayson Quick, he's one of the Mid-South Conference's best. But when we return, receivers coach Justin Lamb, he's in a few Pikeville record books. We'll talk to the receivers coach, former U-Pike Bear, then Pikeville College Bear, Justin Lamb, when we come back, the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back into the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're talking University of Pikeville Bear football. U-Pike 2-1 on the season, coming off a loss to Lindsey Wilson College, and we now put that behind. And joined now in the Bears Den, receivers coach and one of the record holders at the University of Pikeville, the all-time career reception leader, Justin Lamb, also holds the receiving yardage record at Pikeville, and brings a grin to your face. And before we came back, one of your receivers, he's here with us, and he seems to know what some of those numbers are. Your guys give you a little hard time over that.
They do. I mean, it's 90-some yards behind me, which I've told him before, once he breaks it, and I'm glad he does, I'll be the first one to congratulate him. But they give me a hard time about it, think I don't have it anymore, can't do it. They want to compete with me all the time, but we just let it slide. I don't try too much.
I tell you what, it's tough being a coach of players that play your position. Mm-hmm. They see the record books. They know what you've done. Let's talk about Justin Lamb for those that don't, because I can remember Justin Lamb's playing days before Pikeville. Your history, I know your dad, a coach, of course, at Johns Creek, and folks that are fairly young. Where's Johns Creek? Well, it's now part of Pike Central, but Jim Lamb, tremendous coach throughout the region, and well respected. You went on to play high school at Breathitt County. Talk about your playing days there.
Was just there for my senior season. Played with Coach Holland for 3 years, and he graduated. Just felt for me it was a better thing to do is transfer schools. Dad wanted me to go to Breathitt County. Went there, had a great senior season. Didn't end like we wanted it to.
Sure.
But it got me here, where I needed to be. The rest is history. A great college career, in my opinion. Couldn't ask for nothing more.
A lot of folks sold Justin Lamb short, and you draw a lot of similarities to one of your receivers. A little undersized, not the fastest guy on the field, while Amos is he's starting to get a reputation of having some quickness. I'm not sure how he does it. But both of you guys, a little undersized, not the fastest guy on the field, tremendous hands and an ability to get open and then make the catch when the quarterback gets it there. Two very similar type receivers, and it's not surprising that he's chasing you.
No, once he first got here 3 years ago, I knew what he could do.
Sure.
I knew just what kind of type of athlete he would be. Transitioned him over into receiver. Thought he may have a little bit of trouble with it. Played him in some JV games, done real well for us. Fortunate enough to get some varsity time. He took to it like he should. He made plays when he needed to make them and done big things and great things for us.
When you're out on the recruiting trail looking for receivers, that's your position that you coach, but mainly looking for receivers. But you're out there and you're seeing other guys, quarterbacks, running backs, guys that may play that position in high school. Do you start to envision what they could be as a receiver possibly at the college level?
Some of them, yes. I think it's an easier transition for a quarterback to kind of come to a receiver. They know really what the quarterback is thinking sometimes because it's in their head even as they're running routes. So it's a little bit easier. You know, they may not be the quarterback type for us, so, you know, I'll take a chance on him and go to Coach Holland. Look, he's a quarterback. I think he'll make a great receiver for us. You might like him, might not, but, you know, let's give it a chance.
Sure.
Running backs, we've had some that's went from running back to receiver even here at the college.
Right.
It's a little bit different transition for them. They're not used to the running styles. More of theirs is cutting and downhill stuff, and that's what they're good at. So it's a big transition of trying to get them to run a route, sticking routes instead of rounding, you know, right angles and all that. But a great athlete, as long as he can catch the football, he can be a good receiver.
Sure. We've seen some great athletes that don't have very good hands,
yeah.
but you've got some that do. Jordan Amos, Shantez Johnson, Jeremy Hill, Shante Zachary, Tanner Napier, Brent Slusher. You've got a stable of receivers, guys that play in the slot, the wideouts, tight end even, that Slusher doesn't even get many looks because you've got so many other different weapons. How easy does that make your job?
It's very easy. I tell them at least once or twice a week, you know, when we want to play, we're the greatest receiving corps in AI, and without a doubt in my mind, I believe that. Sometimes it gets a little frustrated. You know, they're all great athletes. They want to be on the field. They want to play. Sometimes it's just frustrating knowing if one of them get into a groove, it's hard to bring them out to get somebody else in there. And, you know, that's a great thing, you know, to have the frustration of knowing that we've got so many good athletes, great receivers to play that we just can't get them on the field. It's better than not having, you know, enough and still frustrated with not having.
Program's starting to build some depth at running back at different positions, receivers as well. Let's talk about some young guys that maybe we haven't seen yet because they've got these guys in front of them that we may hear of down the road.
One, Cam Nolan, he's been playing some special teams for us. Last year he was in the rotation, got hurt early in the season with the back, so it kind of bumped him down a little bit. He's starting to come back, being what we need him to be. We got Brendan Hester he's from Cincinnati, Ohio, a lot like Shantez.
Right.
Not as quick, not as physical, but he's got the height, got the athleticism. Another one's a local guy, Jordy Brewer from Harlan. He's transitioned from running back over. Reminds me a lot of Amos. He's not quite there to running the routes and catching the football, but he's got a lot of upside to him. And then just a couple other guys, local guys, trying to bring along.
Sure.
We've got what we need. I tell them every year I got the receivers I want. It's not like I'm going looking for new ones.
Right.
I believe in our guys. They're going to do what we need them to get done.
Got to refill the stable, though. These guys won't be here forever, but
That's true.
We're glad that they are right now. Talking with Justin Lamb, receivers coach at the University of Pikeville. It is the Dudley Hilton Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. We'll talk with one of those wideouts in just a bit. Jordan Amos coming up. Also, one of the Mid-South Conference's best special teams players, Grayson Quick, joins us. And Justin, before we go, when you're out on the recruiting trail, before you even get out on the recruiting trail, suppose there's a player in middle school right now, or a player who's playing his first games in pads, but he wants to be a receiver. Maybe it's a high school player. What advice would you give a receiver to prepare themselves to play at a high level? What advice would you give that player, whether it be someone who's still in grade school or a middle school or even a high school player who's looking to get noticed?
There's never an off season. You got to work every day, running routes, catching a football, day in, day out. Got to get out of the house. Can't be laying on the couch or playing the Xbox. You just got to work at it. It's all the time, 24/7.
Those routes run on the Xbox are designed by a software engineer.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I know a lot of folks played sandlots. You don't see it as much, but that's where you truly do get your start, where you learn to catch the football. This guy could catch the football. Some of the best hands we've seen here in the mountains. It's Justin Lamb, receivers coach at the University of Pikeville. Coach, best of luck to you and the Bears the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Justin Lamb, it's been our pleasure to watch him play, now groomed as a coach at the University of Pikeville. We'll talk with one of his players in just a little bit. That's Jordan Amos, Mid-South Conference wideout. Not the biggest guy on the field, but he's got some nice hands as well. The Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, right back after this. Welcome back in the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're talking University of Pikeville Bears football, and we talked with receivers coach Justin Lamb. He's the all-time career reception leader at the University of Pikeville, joined now by the guy who's chasing him, Jordan Amos. He's a 5'9", 170-pound junior out of Perry County Central High School. And Jordan, you've been here before. We talked last year. We talked about chasing your coach, Justin Lamb. He holds many of the receiving records at the University of Pikeville. You've got one of those now, I believe, and that's the career touchdown receiving. How does it feel to chase your coach? It seems you have a little competition going on there.
You know, it's kind of weird. I don't really like it. I'll just be glad when it's over with, honestly. It's just kind of a distraction. You don't want to sit there and think about it because we're just worried about getting a win each week as a team. But, you know, it is there, and I will be glad when I do get it. If it's going to happen, I hope it happens soon. But, yeah, we kind of go back and forth a little bit during practice when we have some downtime, and the other guys kind of give him a hard time. But he's a great coach. He had a great career, and, you know, if I break that, that just shows how good of a career I've had.
Sure. It's not bad to be chasing someone who holds an awful lot of records at your school. 11 catches, 240 yards this year. You've got a couple of TDs, and I was asking you before we came back from the break how you got so open in the touchdown against Lindsay, because you were 7 yards behind the closest, and then you outran some people. That's when you started to show some Amos speed that I hadn't seen. I was selling you a little short.
Oh yeah, my teammates actually give me a hard time too. They's like, Amos, I didn't know you had that breakout speed, and I was like, I did it all through high school. I don't see how. But yeah. I put a pretty nice move on the kid. I thought it was actually supposed to be a dig route, but Trevor made a nice read. There was no one in the middle of the field, so I kind of turned that kid around and just left him.
Jordan, we talk about, of course, football, and that's an important part of what we do. That's why the Dudley Hilton Show is on. a lot of English professors, they don't have their own show. We talk football, but being a student's important as well, and I know it is to you. Let's talk about Jordan Amos, your academic major. What you plan to do after UPike?
Well, they actually had declared a new major, sports management.
Sure.
So I picked up on that. I just want to be involved in some sport. I want to actually coach when I get older. If it's at the college level, that's fine. Also considering getting my master's in teaching. If I want to coach at the high school level, that'd be an option too.
Of course, you've been in sports all your life. Mm-hmm. It's a big part of your life, and it's a great way to make a living if you can find a way to do that. Let's talk about playing with Trevor Hoskins, experienced quarterback. Guy's been around. He's got 50-plus career touchdowns passing, but he's connected with you several times as well. What's it like to play with an experienced quarterback like Trevor?
Oh, it's great. I feel like when Trevor's on his game, he's the best in the country. He really has stepped up this year, I feel like, and started leading more. He's stepped up and spoke I don't know how many times. But I feel like we have a good chemistry, and he has a great chemistry with the rest of the receiving corps also. But he just makes the right checks, you know. He knows the system as good as Coach Allen does almost, but he does a good job. He stays within the system. He throws a lot of touchdown passes. You can't argue with that.
And as a wideout, you like guys that throw a lot of touchdown passes.
I like kids that want to throw the ball, yep.
There you go. Jordan Amos, 5'9", 170-pound junior wideout at the University of Pikeville, chasing some records of his own. He already has 16 career receiving touchdowns just 3 games into the junior season. And Jordan talked with Coach Hilton, doesn't take losses well. And I like that out of a guy, whether it's a coach, whether it's a fan, whether it's a player. I like guys that when they're winners, typically they don't like to lose. What's the mood been like in the UPike locker room among the players since the loss to Lindsey Wilson and in practice leading up to Wise?
I feel like we've bounced back pretty good this year. You know, last year we took a hard loss to Lindsey Wilson, and it was like the season was over. It seemed like guys kind of got down, but this year we got over it. We had some leaders step up and tell us that, you know, Lindsey Wilson isn't in our side of the division. They're in our conference, but speaking playoff-wise, it really means nothing. And we had a good day of practice today. We came back hard Sunday and conditioned well. We've really bounced back well this week, and I look for us to play well against UVA Wise. It's
good to hear. Jordan Amos, we'll see him. He wears number 2 as the Bears take on UVA Wise Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff at the Hamley Complex. Look for this guy out on one of the wide-out spots, and hopefully we'll see him racing to pay dirt once again. Jordan, always our pleasure to have you on the Dudley Hilton Show.
I appreciate it.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You're tuned to the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. When we come back, one of the Mid-South Conference's best special teams player, Grayson Quick, next on the Dudley Hilton Show.
The University of Pikeville has developed a Master of Business Administration with you in mind. Whether you want to embark on a new career path, learn to do your job better, or increase your earning potential, the MBA program at the University of Pikeville is ready to help you advance. Designed for the working professional, you don't have to put your life on hold to come back to school. It's your time, your university. UPike MBA.
Welcome back into the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk University of Pikeville Bears football. The Bears to host UVA Wise Saturday night. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff at the Hamley Complex. And we continue in the Bears Den and joined now by one of the Mid-South Conference's best. He's just a sophomore, 5'11", 175-pounder, Grayson Quick out of South Carolina. Welcome to the Dudley Hilton Show.
Thank you for having me.
First, we want to talk about some background. Grayson Quick, first of all, student, athlete. Student comes first. What's your major? What are your academic plans?
I'm a computer science major. I want to be just some sort of technician. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but I just love anything to do with computers and technology.
So tear them apart?
Yes, sir.
And now we've got to figure out how to get them back together.
Right.
So that's the guy. I tear up a lot of computers, a lot of gadgets, so I've got to remember Grayson Quick. He's the guy that's going to help me out. Let's talk about your football background. When did you start playing? When did you first put on the pads? And maybe your high school days and how you arrived at Pikeville.
I first started playing in 8th grade. All I was a kicker. That's all I've ever been. I started my freshman year. I played all 4 years of high school in Lugoff, South Carolina. which nobody's ever heard of.
Little small town.
Yeah. I went to the Shrine Bowl in South Carolina,
Right.
and now I'm here. That's pretty much it.
When you were in high school, you were a kicker. Did you have aspirations of playing college football and being a kicker in college?
Yes, sir. Definitely did.
So how did you arrive at Pikeville? Who made that first contact from Pikeville, or was it just a video that landed on a coach's desk?
It was actually a coach that's not here anymore. His name was Coach Varn, and he came down to my high school, and I was actually on a Spanish field trip. And my head coach called me from my Spanish field trip, and the recruiter ended up staying, Coach Varn ended up staying over that night so that he could see me the next day.
You had heard of Pikeville, Kentucky?
No, sir.
When you were out there?
No, sir.
So you start to learn about Pikeville, the University of Pikeville. What made you decide that this is where you wanted to play college football?
Well, I came up here, and I mean, it was a pretty cool atmosphere. It actually ended up snowing whenever I came up here for my visit, so I just liked it.
Don't get a lot of that in South Carolina. I know it's a big day. Already in your career, 52 of 54 extra points. What's up with the 2 misses?
I know. And I think they came in the same game last year.
I'm just giving you a hard time. 12 of 12 on PATs this year, and 4 of 6 field goal tries last year. Haven't gone to the field goal route this year, but you've got a career-long 42 against Faulkner.
Right. We got to talk to some of these coaches about that. I'm ready to. We
Well,
had some opportunities, but I'm ready to get one through.
The receivers want the football more. Now the kicker's wanting more field goal tries. So there's only one ball to go around. 42 is your career long. How far can you go?
The farthest I've ever gone, I've kicked a 62 in practice. That was with wind and whatnot, but I just told Coach Allen, if we can get to the 35, I have faith that I can make it. That'd be a 52.
David Akers tied the NFL record on Sunday. David Akers, a Kentucky guy, and I saw him play his high school football here in the Bluegrass State. He ties the record. He's a guy that we follow. From last year, a 42-yarder last year to this year, how much stronger is the leg?
Well, it's not necessarily stronger, but I feel more flexible this year, definitely. But I don't know how to measure it. 5 yards? I don't know.
63, you ever tried it?
Have I ever tried it?
63 yards?
Yes, sir, in practice.
All right, we want to know when you hit it.
Yeah, I want it.
I don't want to be there when you hit it in a game. Grayson Quick, Mid-South Conference first team honor last year, all East Division place kicker. Honorable mention as a punter as well. Were you a punter and kicker in high school?
Yes, sir. My freshman year was the only year I didn't punt, and my cousin was the punter, and he actually ended up showing me how to punt, and I took his spot the next year. But I played soccer my whole life and kicked.
So place kicking, punting, regardless. But I think it's a rare occasion that a player is named on 2 all-conference teams. And, of course, first team All-East Division as a place kicker, honorable mention as a punter. It's a great honor. Congratulations on that. You're on your way to another one of those awards this year. Let's keep up the 12 of 12 PATs this season. And we'll have a chat with some of the coaches, see if we can't get a field goal try or 2 in.
All right, I appreciate
Grayson
it.
Quick, he's an all-Mid-South Conference performer. He's the place kicker and punter at the University of Pikeville, and he wears number 87. You can see him Saturday night when the Bears host UVA Wise at the Hambly Complex. Stay tuned. We'll talk with Coach Dudley Hilton. We'll get a quick scout on Wise and preview Saturday night's game. The Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back into the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Always a pleasure to get to talk with some of the Bear players tonight, Jordan Amos and Grayson Quick. Also Justin Lamb. We go way back with Justin, watching his playing days and seeing him grow up as a coach as part of this UPike coaching staff. Rejoined now by the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears. He's our coach, 3-time state championship coach. He knows how to get it done, 350 wins. And, Coach, I'm always surprised. Now, I guess I shouldn't be at this point, but the players that come in, they step up on the show, and they're always so well-spoken. They represent the program well.
Well, I appreciate you again saying that, Andrew, because that's quality kids we're trying to recruit and bring in here. And Amos Jordan, I remember when he played in high school, a local kid around here that, you know, he was on that mountain sports a lot on things he did. And then the quick boy, he's just an outstanding young man and just does a super job kicking for us. And, you know, he's I don't think he's got to kick many field goals or any field goals this year, but he's been perfect on this extra point and really been punting the ball well too. So, and then what can you say about Justin Lamb? He just, you know, he's came here and he's made it his home, and he graduated from here, and now he's coaching and just does a great job for us. But so far we've brought in some great guys and students of the game to talk to you.
Good reflection of the program. Coach, let's talk about Wise now. They come in 1-2. And Wise also owns a 6-game win streak against Pikeville. Only one against the Dudley Hilton coach team, but 2005, the last time Pikeville beat UVA Wise. Is this the year that we can snap that streak?
Well, yeah, I think we got confidence. Again, it's one of those games we went over and you couldn't have played no worse when we played at Wise last year. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Lindsey Wilson game, and you didn't think things could get worse, but it did. And, you know, and I think the Wise game was like that last year. We just we was in it the first quarter. I think it was 7-7, and just a wheel fell off of a wagon, and anything that happened that went wrong, it could have happened, you know. But again, not taking nothing away from their program. They've got a great football program. They've got great facility, good coaching staff, and they got a good football team. And they played a tough 3 games starting out of the gate. Went to Bethel and won a big game, and got beat by Faulkner and got beat by Campbell, who was a higher division school than them. And but again, we got our hands cut, but just like we talked there early, every week we got our hands full, and this is no different. But this is a game again that we got to come and play, and the ball bounces our way. We get a few fumbles, a few turnovers here and there. Who knows? We might break this whole streak.
There you go. Last win came in 2005. We look for the next one, 2012. What kind of style will we see from Wise?
Well, you know, they're a big old bully team. They're going to try to take it right at us and run a lot of eye, and then they'll do a lot of spreading. And you know, they got 2 real good quarterbacks. They rotate in and out quite a bit. And defensively, they got a man over on the defensive secondary side. Can't think of his name, but he's number 9, and he's a man. He does a great job for them. They put him back on the kickoff return and the punt return, and he'll probably be on Shantez Johnson's side, and you know he'll try to take Shantez away from us, and you know that'd be a battle in itself. But he's a man out there on the football field. But overall, they got a very good football team, and they'll be more of a power football team, smash mouth, taking it to you a little bit.
Mid-South Conference got to show up and play every week. This week, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff at the Hambley Complex at Pikeville. UVA Wise comes to town, and, Coach, we need a big crowd.
Oh, yeah, and this will be the first night game we've really played this year, you know, going into this thing, and home is 7 o'clock, and I think they're doing that because of the dedication of their new co-building here on campus. And but you know, it'd be after all that, it'd be a good night to come out and watch a college football game. And you know, I think our Bears will bounce back and give us a great effort. And Andrew, I'm gonna let the win come if they come, but if we give a great effort, I think our Bears will surprise a lot of people. So hopefully, people don't give up on them.
Oh, we're not giving up. 7 o'clock kickoff at the Hambley Complex. UVA Wise, they will bring a crowd. It's a short drive from here to Wise, and likewise, they'll bring a crowd. We need the black and orange there as well. The Hambley Complex, 7 o'clock Saturday night. We want to see you there as the Bears look to go to 3-1 on the season. Coach Dudley Hilton, best of luck Saturday and the rest of the way.
Thank you, Andrew.
You've been tuned to the Dudley Hilton Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.